A warm welcome to everyone to today's podcast organized by IPTSE Academy in collaboration with GD Goenka University. Before beginning with this podcast, I would like to extend my warm wishes and gratitude to Dr. Tabrez Ahmed and Dr. Sanya Wadwa, without whom today's interaction would have not been possible. As you may all already be aware, IPTSE Academy is a venture of IP Ethicon, an Indian startup recognized by the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion and awarded by the World Intellectual Property Forum. IPTSC primarily administers India's first and one of its kind IP Olympiad, and the registrations for the fourth edition of the Olympiad have already begun from the 1st of September. It is supported by organizations such as Ericsson, Indian Chamber of Commerce, Ministry of MSMEs, Mighty Startup Hub, NRDC, All India Council for Technical Education, and several others. Within 30 minutes today, we will attempt to clarify all your doubts about intellectual property as well as its importance. We will also discuss IPTSC and its registration process, reading course material, along with the benefits, awards, and strategies to crack the exam. I would quickly like to introduce Mr. Saurabh Sachdeva, the director of IPTSC, who has extensive experience in the field of financing, banking, education, corporate strategy, industry mentorship, etc. His innovative and creative bent of mind led him to enter very early in the domain of intellectual property with the knack of developing a culture in the country that creates and respects IPRs. I request him to kindly welcome you all with his remarks.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. And good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thanks to all the team and my the warm welcome to Dr. Azim Khan and Dr. Tabrez Ahmed and Professor Sania. Thanks for joining and thanks to all the participants and thanks to Dr. Sheetal Chopra from Ericsson for joining today's podcast. So you know what? When we talk about the IPs, IP is actually very important for everyone. And when we talk about the in terms of the GDP, yes, the IP is also a biggest contributor in terms of the India's GDP. So I'm sure the India is also growing and IP is also growing parallelly. So thank you so much for today's podcast. So IPTC has always worked for the enhancement in the understanding of the benefits of IP among students of various streams. And for this purpose, we organize several activities, including webinars, conferences, debates, FDP programs. We are pleased to announce that we have launched the fourth edition of Intellectual Property Talent Search Examination, the first of its kind IP Olympiad, and the registrations for it are now open. So engineering and the management students, along with the researchers and members of faculty, all are eligible to take part in this Olympiad. We urge all you are here to participate in this Olympiad and gain the highly coveted IPH. Thank you so much. Over to you, Anna.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I'm pleased to welcome Dr. Tabrez Ahmed. Professor Ahmed is the Vice Chancellor and Dean of Law at School of GD Goenka University in the area of cyber law, intellectual property rights, energy law, and with a background in commercial law. He has taught these subjects for nearly 20 years at universities as the WB University of Judicial Sciences in Kolkata, KIIT Bhubaneswar, Alliance University Bangalore, University of Petroleum and Energy Studies in Dehradun, and Galgotius Greater Noida. He has a BSc combined honors in zoology, botany and chemistry, LLM in commercial law and cyber law, and PhD in cyber law and IPR. I request you, Dr. Ahmed, to kindly address our audience.
Thank you, Arno Dugal, for very extensive kind of introduction. Let me welcome the director IPTC Academy, Mr. Saurabh Sachdeva, uh, my friend Dr. Sheetal Chopra, my colleague Dr. Azim Pathan, HOD School of Law, and Sanya Kapoor Wadhwa, and my other faculty colleagues, dear students, and all the participants. We must thank Saurabh Sachdeva for taking great initiatives and also Sheetal for promoting the idea for talent search examination for IPR, just like an IP Olympiad. We know very well that now the condition very fast changing. If you go back to history, we used to say that those who have the lot of iron and steel will be the market leader. Then we say after some time that those who have the petroleum, iron, and gas, they can be market leader. Now the condition is different. Now those people, those person, those country who want to become the market leader, they must have the IPR. Only IPR holders will be the market leader. Keeping in mind the GD Goenka University is one of the very finest universities in the country, because we are known for school education from last 27 years, and we have very prime schools in the country like World School. Then we have the CBSE schools, we have the this IB school, IGCSE schools. We have all kinds of schools. So we are very renowned in the country in terms of the quality education at school level. Again, we percolate the same idea in the university system. Then in 2013, we started the Jijunga University at the Sona Road in Gurgaon, and we are one of the most interdisciplinary university in the country because we have 12 schools and also 4 centers. So it means we have 16 kind of units in the university. We have School of Engineering, School of Management, School of Law, School of Humanities, Social Science, School of Education, Communication, Design, Architecture. You name any course, and also we have the Medical Allied Sciences. So we have all kind of the courses. And best part is that because if you want to innovate something, and if you have the place, and the place is focusing on interdisciplinary research, there are more chances for innovation and creating more IP. In that sense, I must encourage all the students and faculty who are participating. Please join hands with the schools and try to do some innovations, and always try to go for kind of the protection. If you compare the Indian scenario, Japan scenario, and American scenario, India is very weak when the terms of the approaching to patent office or IPR offices for protection of their IP, because we do not, as a kind of nature, we do not believe in the kind of the going and too much protection is provided. We are always the kind of the thought process that we are always believe in sharing. But now the time has come because India has signed TRIPS agreement in 1995, and now any innovation if you're doing that is having the kind of the level of IPR protection, you can protect globally where India is a member country. We have signed TRIPS agreement, and also we have signed the Patent Cooperation Treaty. That's why if any innovation is happening, you have the liberty to apply through the PCT application, and you can protect your innovation throughout the world. So that is the kind of shift we require in everybody. Anybody innovating, he must try to go and get a protection. But the problem is that people are not aware about their rights, about the process. That and sometimes because of lack of the awareness, lack of the process, they are wasting their lot of kind of innovations, a lot of creativity, and those who are very clever people, they are trying to copy their work and go and protect their work. Because if you're applying in India, for example, some of the innovations, and then you are not applying through PCT or other country, if anybody just by simple modification, you got only in India and he approached to other countries, and the other countries there is no kind of the competing patent granted, he will be able to protect that particular idea in that country. So my point is that it should be very clever. Try to, if you do any innovation, any creative work, whether in terms of the copyright or trademark or design, or maybe this the plant variety, or maybe a data compilation, if you do anything, please try to always get a protection. Now the government is very active in promoting the idea of patenting, because government recently has waived the fee in terms of the education institutions. It was very costly earlier, but now if you are part of an university, it is very easy and very cheap to go for the protection, because government has even created the kind of lot of support system, where we have more than 300 examiners are appointed recently, and also government has waived the fee or calculated the fees. So getting the protection is very easy. Only thing is that you should be fully aware that how to apply, where to apply, and then that's why the awareness part is very important. In that sense, the IPTSE will play a great role, because it is giving a platform to even schools, even the faculty, student, anybody can participate in the particular the IP talent search examination. And for that also, because if you're going to participate in the examination, definitely you would like to have some kind of research, some kind of awareness, some kind of understanding about what is IP and why you should know the IP, because IP is the kind of area relevant to everybody. So that's why we are very holistic university, and also we have a law school. In the law school, we provide the 14 specializations, and one of them is the two of them is IP, because we are providing a dual specialization. Any student doing law in our law school, he will be able to get two options to specialize. And that case, we do two options in also in IPR. So he can take the basic IPR or he can take the advanced IPR. In the basic IPR, he can do a general kind of one course is compulsory to every law student. But if you want to specialize, you will be having some in-depth study about the patent, trademark, copyright, and design areas. And if you want to further specialize, he can get the advanced IPR, and then he will be studying the kind of the IPR management, IPR valuation, IPR litigation. Okay, then he can also do the IT and IP. So these are the advanced courses right now in the IPR area. So we are one of the pioneer law school in the country who focus a lot on the IPR. Now the question is that how to engage and how to really get all these benefits by having the knowledge of IPR. So it is not only relevant to law school, because any student, any faculty working on some projects, on some assignments, some dissertation in the school of engineering, because any innovation they will be able to get the protection of the patent, or any student who are working in school of management, because we require a lot of people who are experts of IPR management, even IPR kind of valuation. Because if you see the balance sheet of any IT company right now, whether Google or maybe Microsoft or maybe Yahoo and all, you see their balance sheet says that they have more than 98% assets in IPR. What is that assets? Because these are actually in terms of having their patent, in terms of their softwares, their programs, okay, in terms of their actually kind of they're exporting all these areas. So the investment, the major investment, their major rights, their major kind of assets are lying in the terms of IPR. The question is that because all the IPRs are giving for a limited time period, so the challenge is that how you are going to get return from the market. Because, for example, if anybody, any company invested money to get the kind of the injection for coronavirus, to get the injection coronavirus, you might have invested $1 million to get the proper formulation, and then you must get the patent. Once you got the patent, now challenge is that how you are going to get return from the market that what you invested. Not only that, you have to also get something more, because your money was invested for some time period. Now you will get just like 20 years time period to get return from the market, because after 20 years it will become public property. Anybody can copy your no formulation or your research. So that's why we require a lot of managers who are going to manage the portfolio of the IPR assets, and then he is going to manage in terms of the kind of licensing, kind of the export of the IPR, and in terms of properly exploiting your research. So he will get more money from the market. So because the company have to then further invest to get some more innovations for new disease or new formulations. So if you go and invest money of any R&D, that it has a lot of investment, and unless and until you are able to get protection in terms of the IPR, and also then in terms of the IPR management and commercialization, you cannot sustain, because there is amortization. So if you invest anything, it and also you got the protection of the IPR, amortization happening, and then you are go on losing certain, because your right will expire in 20 years. In fact, 2 3 years is wasted because of the process. You'll get actually just 17 to 18 years to exploit or research. So my point is that for all student faculty, the IPR knowledge is very, very important. You must get at least the basic knowledge that will help you protect your rights. Because of lack of awareness, sometimes you are losing your rights, and other will be trying to get the benefits by fraud or by by copying, by mischief, and they will try to have that particular in their name. Or sometime there will be a lot of copying of your design, of your trademarks and all, and they, because of the misusing of these things, you may be losing the market value, because there may be a lot of people who are having the fake products and use their logo, your design, and they're marketing the product in the market, and you are losing your customer base. So IPR knowledge is important for everybody, whether it is law or management or engineering or even design school or maybe communication design or maybe architecture. So anywhere that the creativity is happening or innovation is happening, you must know your basic rights. In fact, right now at PG level, almost in every course, there's a dissertation work. Any dissertation written by the student and faculty jointly will be having the copyright, or any doctoral work in terms of the submission of thesis will always have copyright. And if this work is belong to any laboratory work, any chemical work and all, it may also have some innovations. It may be part of the protection of patent also. So this particular knowledge, whether a student of any discipline or any faculty, is very, very important. That's why I must encourage all of you to try to get this knowledge. It is going to be the whole life investment for you. And also I encourage all of you to participate in the competition. If you are planning to attend the competition, you'll be able to also get certain kind of, there are a lot of the prize money is there, and lot of varieties are there. So one way you'll be able to get the knowledge. You'll be also, once you are able to win the awards, you'll be able to get a lot of market benefits. You'll be also having networking. You'll be known in the market. So this way it is going to give a lot of benefits to you, to your university, your college, and also to you. Is a whole life investment. So it has a lot of benefit. That's why I must encourage all of you to take it very seriously and try to register for this IPTSC, this IP Olympiad examination, and also try to get more knowledge and raise your knowledge. With these few words, I thank you again, Dr. Sheetal Chopra, for supporting this idea, and also Saurabh Sajdeva for developing IPTSC Academy and promoting the awareness about the IPR, and also my colleague Sanna and also Dr. Azim Pathan for able to organize the program in the law school and also in the entire university system. I'm sure it will be a great learning experience to all of you. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now my colleague Saisha will take us all through a brief presentation that discusses IPTSC and its registration in thorough detail. Aspirants, be all ears, otherwise you might miss out on crucial information. The floor is yours, Saisha. Please begin with the presentation.
Thank you, Arnav. I will be sharing my
Arnav,
screen.
just a second. Saisha, do you allow me just few seconds?
Yes, ma'am, of course.
Professor Tabrez, excellent remarks. I couldn't just stop myself, really. The way you have spoken, it actually, you spoke your heart out, because I know you've been writing yourself a lot. You've been presenting a lot of papers, and you've seen the kind of work that you've created. Nobody could have said it as effectively as you have said. So I think it's a great thing that you have said. Three things I've noted very importantly from your remarks. One is that your university is interdisciplinary. I think this is one of the best thing for all the students out there at GD Goenka कि आप अपने दरवाजों में अपने उसमें confined मत हो जाओ. Go talk to your friends in other departments and then try to develop something that's a combination of multiple things. So what Professor Tabrez has said is very important. Second, IPR can actually make people from rag to riches and riches to rags. And when I'm given the opportunity to speak during my time, I'll be happy to share some of the real examples how it changed the life of people. So, good, Professor Tabrez, you've said it very rightly.
Thank you, Dr. Sheetal. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and also, Professor Sanya, if it is okay, and request your students to also join YouTube link. That's what Saisha has been also putting it on the live channel.
I'll do that.
Yeah, because I think it's something linked to e-certificates for the students. That's why students are requested to background में आप चला सकते हैं. It's you can just click on that. You can see the chat session if there is a link provided. Saisha, if you want to just give a clarity on that.
Yeah, I've put the link of the live on the chat, so you can join that and you'll be able to play that in the background while simultaneously being here on the WebEx platform. Ma'am, you want to say something more or should I take over now?
Go ahead, Saisha.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to be giving you all a brief presentation on IPTSE. So, Arnav, if you could tell me once my screen is visible, I'm sharing it now.
Yes, it's
Saisha, we
visible.
can't see you.
Oh, I'll turn on my camera. Give me 1 second.
Sasha, I don't see the YouTube link. If you could just resend that also so that everybody
Sure,
over here
I'll
can.
share it again.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, I've turned on my video. Please tell me if you can see me now.
Yes.
Right. Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about the fourth edition of IPTSE, which is the first and one of its kind IP Olympiad. So, IPTSE, or the Intellectual Property Talent Search Examination, was launched in July 2018 and is the first and one of its kind annual IP Olympiad for intellectual property rights in India. It is an exam that certifies students for their knowledge in copyrights, patents, trademark, geographical indication, industrial design, trade secrets, and several such things. It is conceptualized and administered by IPTSC Academy and has received support from many organizations who believe in the knowledge economy. Some of them include Ericsson, Creative First, Ministry of MSME, Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, iHub Gujarat, METI Startup Hub, All India AICTE, Indian Chamber of Commerce, etc. Now, why should several of you students sitting here try or give the exam which is on IP? Firstly, as I said before, it is the first and one of its kind IP Olympiad, where you will get recognition from government bodies as well as corporates for your intellectual property knowledge. Now, certainly, this knowledge as well as recognition gives you a competitive advantage in your career shaping. When you go out in the world, whether as a job seeker or as a job creator, the fact that you have intellectual property knowledge, but also have been certified for that knowledge is very important for you today, given the kind of cyberspace world that we live in, where intellectual property is such an important form of information. Cash prizes and scholarships. The winners of this exam receive exciting. One sec, I'll just turn off my video because my voice is breaking. Yes, winners receive exciting cash prizes as well as scholarships that I'm going to be talking about in the upcoming slides. Learn and earn. So, besides just administering an IP Olympiad, we also have an alternative where we can help you learn and earn besides excelling in the knowledge of IP. If you want to know more about this, you can go to our website, read more up on the different works that IPTSE does in the domain of IP. Internship opportunities. Say you give the intellectual property talent search examination and get a great score, then you can get an opportunity to intern for renowned corporates that have partnered with IPTSC, such as, but not limited to, Ericsson, where you can learn and speak to IP experts. You can work in the domain of IP, take part in projects where IP is very important, etc. Comprehensive course material. Once you registered for the exam, you will receive unique and interactive course material at a cost basis, which is prepared by research scholars under the supervision of IP experts. So this is a very, very comprehensive course material that will give you insight into every aspect of IP and professional guidance as well as mentorship. So we're not just limited to, as I said before, giving or administering an exam. We also give you guidance on how to reap benefits of your creations and innovations globally while simultaneously safeguarding them. Now, why should you students of GD Goenka University know about intellectual property? Or why should you even care about it? Firstly, it has been given national recognition from central government. Two students from Bihar were provided support from center on a device now registered by the patent office, which only goes to show that if the central government is supporting projects like these, and that too from students, how important would it be not just for our country but for the world today? Filing of patents now being viewed as an achievement. University students such as yourself are now being encouraged to not just create intellectual property but also safeguard it. Center has reduced patent filing and prosecution fee by 80% for educational institutions to promote innovation and development to new technologies. This is so important today. The fact that the center is repeatedly encouraging patent filing as well as intellectual property knowledge. And as I said, the Economic Times is a source for better job offers to students with campus patent experience. So the more intellectual property experience you have, the more knowledge you have on IP, as well as if you're certified for it, you will get better experiences as well as better job offers out in the real world. Now, how do you register for the exam? Say you think that as law students or as students from any other domain, you feel like you want to give the IP exam, you want to be certified for it. It's a very simple process. First, you will visit our website, www.iptsc.com. There on our website, you will be given an option to register for the exam, where you can enroll yourself for the 4th edition of IPTSE. You can sign up your details and create an account. And as you create an account, you will get an option to choose a plan. You can accordingly choose the plan that best suits you. And that is it. You can now enjoy a variety of exclusive webinars, unique course material, mock tests, and more. Reading course material offered by IPTSE. Now, I know that here we have students from all domains, but we specifically have several students from the law school. And I'm sure these students from law school, whatever year they may be in their education, will know about the things that have been written on the screen. We have so much course material on intellectual property. The booklets that you see in front of you are all that are offered in the premium pack, while the 3 with the ticks are only offered in the premium pack. The 2 without the ticks can be given in the basic pack, shall you choose to register for that. We have a booklet on career and monetization of IP, which talks about monetizing intellectual property. One on the role of prior art searching, which talks about art that already exists in the world of IP. One on industrial application of IP laws and industrial application of competition law as well as intellectual property. Not only this, we have 14 presentations of various topics under intellectual property. So even if you're not just getting this reading course material for your exam, it will also help you in otherwise in your intellectual property knowledge. And for those students who are not from law school, I can assure you that these topics, these titles might seem really intimidating and daunting to you, but it is not as complicated. We've created this booklet keeping in mind the layperson's brain. So when you start, it begins right from the basic and right to the complicated, and it is put out in a very, very simple way. So you will understand it just as much as a law student may be able to understand it. Now, why IPTSE for GD Goenka University? Firstly, in the past editions that we've had an award called the Best College Award. So the award that brings in maximum registrations in intellectual property talent search examination wins the Best College Award. And I'm sure that your university, which has been known for innovation and research, as Dr. Ahmed just said, would love to have this recognition that their students are participating in an exam like this. We also, because we focus on innovation and research, help universities get better rankings, get better scores in rankings. So whether it's the NAC accreditation or the NIRF rankings or the ARIA rankings, all of these give great score to innovation, and that is what we bring to the university. Awards. Perhaps the most exciting slide that we have is awards. For university students, we have the All India rank holders, which is the Air 1, 2, and 3, who win rupees 40,000, 25,000, and 10,000 respectively if they get these ranks, as well as merit certificates and internship opportunities. We also have a segment called the regional champions. Say a certain number of students from every region participate in the exam, then the champion or the first position holder of that region will get rupees 2,000 along with merit certificates. And we also have great awards for top 20 rank holders. So you don't need to necessarily worry that if you get a lower rank or a higher rank, what's going to be the situation. And if you score good marks, if you crack the exam with good marks, then certainly you will get a chance to intern with many, many organizations. Testimonials. I'm going to be playing the testimonials of two of our toppers that you can view here.
Generally, the courses in IPR are taught in law colleges in third or fourth year. I was independently pursuing multiple courses as a desire to, learn about the subject. So after, completing the courses or during that time also, I wanted to obtain a clear understanding of how much, how much I have understood the subject, how much knowledge I have gained about the subject. So this test was to test my knowledge about the subject basically to the other courses. I saw the announcement for this exam on Loctopus. It's a platform for all law students. And I instantly realized that this is an amazing opportunity for a law student like me. When I was reading about this exam, I understood that this would be a great step towards my goal. This exam and even the preparation of the exam would certainly give me an edge over my other peers. And that's why I mainly chose to take the IP exam. So it was a very unique experience for me personally, because this was the first Olympiad type exam I took online sitting at home. And while I was giving the exam, I was actually COVID positive. So the settings around me were different than usual and compared to other exams or other Olympiads and competitive exams I have given. There was still the feeling and the slight pressure of giving an exam. The exam itself went very smoothly. There were no technical issues, and it just went very smoothly. And I applaud the organization for it. There were some tricky questions, and I was honestly having fun while trying to answer them. The questions were a mix of objective and case study type. So it was a mix of competitive exams that I've already given with the type of questions that I get in my college exams.
So if you wanted to know more about these testimonials, you can look them up on our YouTube channel. We've uploaded all our students' testimonials. Now, a slight viewing of careers that involve intellectual property. As I said before, I know that we primarily have law students sitting here, but students of other domains may be wondering what benefit IP can do to them. Well, the fact of the matter is, intellectual property has great sway over all professions, whether you're a musician or a filmmaker or a writer or a researcher or a scientist, designer, photographer, lawyer, painter, whatever you're doing. Today, you are creating something. And that creation in the internet based world that we live in today requires protection. So, if you want to protect your creation, if you want to go out there and put out your creation, be able to monetize it and ensure that other people are not exploiting it, then you must have knowledge of IP. And we're providing you with that knowledge of IP. And not just that, we're also certifying you with that knowledge of IP. So if you go out there, as I said before, whether as a job seeker or a job creator, you're getting an opportunity to know more about the intellectual property while simultaneously using the creation and helping it benefit not just yourself, but benefit the entirety of the world. And I'd like all of the students sitting here to know, especially from those of different domains, our exam is curated in a manner that students from similar domains will only be tested by students of their domain. So you might be wondering, oh, but a law student has more knowledge of IP than I do. Well, we have course curriculum that you can go and read on our website that is specifically curated for students of different domains. So say you are a designer who wants to give the IP exam, then questions that will be in your exam will be more inclined towards those aspects of intellectual property that are focused on design instead of general. So something like geographical indication doesn't matter to you. So it's not going to be part of your exam as much as it is going to be part of some other person's, maybe a researcher or architect's exam. So you can be rest assured that you will not be tested against those who already have more knowledge of IP than you do. Now, timeline for the fourth edition of IPTSE. Our registrations have already begun and they will end by November of this year. Then what we've done is that we know that all of you have exams in the month of December, as do students who are giving the board exams as well as students from other universities. So we are offering you many dates for mock tests. We have a range of dates for our main exam as well as for the mock test that you will be giving shall you choose to register for the exam. So 16th to 20th December are the dates for the mock test, wherein within the year, the date, you can also choose the time that you want. The exam will be for 60 minutes and there will be 60 questions in your exam. So you can choose what time you want to give the exam and what date you want to give the exam in the range that we've offered. And for the main exam as well, 6 to 10 January, you can choose a date and time as per your convenience. Then we announce results in 2022, the dates for which are yet to be decided. How can you crack the IPTSE? As I said before, our YouTube channel has a whole lot of content, trivia, webinars that you can have a look at. We also have regular interactions with IP experts, right? So for our registrants who've registered for the exam, we bring in IP experts who give lectures on IP, which are introductions to this course, to this Olympiad. And you can have a look at that. You can understand more there. We also, like I said, have course curriculum given on our website. So even for the law students, there are different exams. So say you're a law student who has IP specialization, and there's another who doesn't have IP specialization. That student may be wondering, oh, am I going to be at a disadvantage here because my friend already has an IP specialization? No, because we have different exams curated for the both of you, and you will only be judged against those who are giving the same kind of exam as you are. So two people who have a law with IP specialization are going to be tested against each other, and two without IP specialization are going to be tested against each other. So you needn't worry that somebody else might have more knowledge before giving the exam than you do. Also, I'd encourage you to crack the exam to read all the course material that you will get while registering, because this course material is all you need to crack the exam. If you choose the premium pack, if you go for more course material, then it covers almost everything. You really don't need to study anything more than that, but certainly look at our YouTube channel, look at the videos we offer there. And as I said before, many government and industry partners, whether it's Ericsson, Meti Startup Hub, NRDC, or the different ministries, or even AICTE, they've all given their support to us. They're all encouraging this exam, and having their support by being certified in this exam will be a great plus for you people as well. And finally, we're done with this. Thank you so much for watching this presentation. And to get regular updates, you can follow our social media handles. Particularly, I'll encourage you to follow our Instagram, because on Instagram, in our stories, we put out IP questions almost daily or regularly. So the advantage there is that you would get an insight as to what kind of questions you may be asked in the exam, besides knowing what will happen in the mock test. So thank you so much for watching. I'm going to be stopping my screen share. Arnav, you can take over now.
Thank you very much, Saisha. I again request all the participants to just open the YouTube link in the background. So now we will quickly dive into today's podcast. Our interaction involves members of the IPTSE team and Dr. Sheetal Chopra, an honorary advisor to IPTSE. She is also the director at Ericsson India IPR Policy and the resource person at Kapila, the Ministry of Education. So my first question, Dr. Chopra, is how IP literacy helps in gaining better job prospects?
Thank you, Arnav. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, excellent, because I find my voice to be echoing a bit. But first of all, let me thank Professor Tabrez Ahmed and Professor Azim Khan, also Professor Sanya. I think they all make a very good team, and it is because of their hard work that you guys as students are able to get the best of the environment in your college. And I'm so happy to see all of you in so many numbers. It actually shows how much do you respect your professors, how much you respect their words. So many congratulations that you are coming up with as a very good person, per se as well. I think, Arnav, the question that you asked is how and why is IP important? When I was congratulating Professor Ahmed for his best remarks, I was thinking of some of the very recent examples where people have turned from rags to riches and from riches to rags, all because of IP. And I'll be happy to share a couple of those examples. But I just wanted to know, is it possible for us to have students live on their videos or not possible? Alicia and Aryan, Arpita, Bhavishya, Bhavya, can you come on video, all of you? Or I mean, it'll feel as if we are really speaking to you and not to ourselves. Is it possible for you all to come on a video for some time? Anurag, Ajay.
Ma'am, actually, I wanted to ask you something.
Go ahead. Who is it?
Ma'am, Sayyaman.
Hanji Sayam, tell me.
Ma'am, I have
I can't
basically
see
two
you.
questions that are
Are you on video at all?
no, ma'am, not right now.
Okay,
But yeah.
go
So,
ahead.
ma'am, basically, I have two questions. Like there, one question divided in two parts. First of all, I wanted to ask. Uh, we all know the importance of IP and all those things. We all know the importance. We have studied it, and we all know that it holds a lot of a lot of value. And I'm also dealing with a lot of companies with their rights and during my internship, so I know. But I wanted to ask you how this how this course is certified, so I can use this to go to international universities and help me in my CV there. First is that thing, and second thing is that how this course is different, which is offered on Coursera, another international based website which have types with University of Toronto, Geneva, and every world renowned university there. So the courses are also available on their websites and also available on your website. So what's the basic difference between these two, and how it helps me with my CV? Like what values it hold up as compared to those courses which are on Coursera and edX.
Excellent points, Sayam. Allow me to pick your second question first. And
Yes,
just
ma'am.
for the clarity, that this intellectual property talent search exam, the first of its kind IP Olympiad, it's not a course, it's an exam, it's a competitive
Okay.
exam. It's like any other
Mhm.
Olympiads you must have taken when you were like chota bacha, whether it was
Yes, ma'am.
math Olympiad,
Yes,
English
ma'am.
Olympiad. तो आप physically जाते थे ना school teachers के साथ, and you used to take a lot of Olympiads.
No,
So
ma'am.
it is
हमारे school used to host the Olympiads.
correct, correct. So
Yes, ma'am.
sometimes it used to happen in off campus, somewhere else, sometimes within the school premises. This is an
Yes, ma'am.
Olympiad which is completely online. It tests that knowledge of a student. So for example, आपने Coursera बोला, there are so many WIPO courses also. There are so many courses by, let's say, ILI or NALSAR, NALSU, so many universities are giving. This is an Olympiad which will search the talent. Meaning आपने पढ़ाई तो बहुत कर ली है, but have you really tested your knowledge on IP? Meaning, have you really been exposed to a lot of different, let's say, hypothetical situations that आपको ये दे दिया जाए कि okay, this is the X research that has happened. This is the component, this is the ingredient where this IP will fall fit in. Where will this
Mm.
innovation will go? So this Olympiad will only test your knowledge. The booklets that Saisha talked to you about is for supporting you to crack the exam. It's not a course. Okay.
Okay.
These are the booklets which will give you a bit more comprehensive knowledge into, let's say, competition law, intellectual property, some case studies, which will be good for you to read up. It's not mandatory, I'm saying. It's not as mandatory कि वही पढ़ना है, but it helps you to crack the exam. Now, second point is, just give me a minute. I'll just be back.
Arnav, I think ma'am just left. You can ask the next question till then. I don't know where she's off to.
Absolutely. So, Sasha, my next question is for you. You very skillfully walked us through
Oh,
the
she's back. She's back. She's back. Let her take
Okay,
over.
she's back.
Huh.
Yes, ma'am.
So, what I was suggesting you is on the second part itself, what is the value of this particular Olympiad, right? That is what you asked. And I think Saisha already spoke that this is supported by a lot of ministries here in India. For example, All India Council for Technical Education, AICT, is supporting it. And they have sent out the letters to all the universities encouraging their students and faculties to participate. There is Ministry of Science and Technology. There is Ministry of Information and Communication Technology. So many ministries are
Ma'am,
supporting it, है ना?
those are two different things. Being in a
Correct.
partner and getting the value. Of course, if I want to become a prosecutor for Ministry of any ministry, I have to go for the exam. I have to crack it down, and then I got the selection. Because of the written, only I get the selection. But being a partnership is all totally different. I can be partner with any ministry anytime I want. I just have to make a proper investment into their ministry, and I will be their partner. That's a
Exactly. So
very that is very
when
easy
you
democracy we have in India.
when you talk about the support system that is given to the to this
Yes,
initiative
ma'am.
is primarily only to create an IP literacy. Okay, don't try to equate it with some, let's say, a course. Like I said, it's not a course, it's just an Olympiad. It is just testing your knowledge. It is helping you get certified for whatever knowledge you've been able to attain through a lot of courses, let's say, or by reading the material that is provided by IPTSE team. Count it in that manner. Okay. So this is purely, it doesn't talk about the international jurisprudence. It's all about India, Indian laws, Indian case studies, because you need to know your land, law of land first, before you start exploring what's happening outside, let's say in US or Europe. Okay, so this is how it works. There is no downside of sitting for an exam and seeing testing your knowledge. Correct? You are not losing out anything. It's a benefit because there is a scholarship that you guys get in cash rewards. There is a very senior bureaucrat who usually comes. For past 3 years, we've seen either the Minister of State coming or AICT chairman coming or G20 Sherpa coming who gives awards, right? So it's a recognition. It's a feel good factor for you that I'm getting awarded in India by my own ministries. May I request others to please go on mute? It is very annoying, you know. Sasha, you can administer it from the back end and check.
Yeah, you can
So
go
I
on.
hope it makes it clear. Go for it, try out, read more. And what more than that, like Sasha also said, that you get internships, you get to speak with a lot of senior authorities. You get to also team up with IPTSE Academy, you can support them in a lot of activities. That's how your learning exchange will happen. So see it as an opportunity rather than a comparison with anything else.
Divya, I request you to please switch off your mic. I have to call out the names.
Is it clear, Sayam?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. But I'm happy, Sayam, you took the opportunity to speak out. You've broken the ice, and I hope it'll encourage others also to ask questions, because more questions, help in getting the clarity better. I think I was reading up a case a few days ago, and few months ago. Those who don't have new, like Sayam, you rightly mentioned, IP importance you all know. Lekin there are very big companies also who are high throughput innovators still have landed into a lot of trouble. For example, you've heard about Uber and Google, right? And the IPR tussle that is happening between them. One of the very important person, a worker, a very high profile innovator in Google, he left the company, joined Uber, and it is alleged that he brought a lot of trade secret related information to the new company. So even the best of the innovators who may have filed several patent applications may not know nuances of IP. And this IP Olympiad helps you clarify those, demystify some of those myths. And like Saisha also said, there are weekly interactions where you can discuss, you can flash out the ideas. People don't get the opportunity to discuss it as much. So I think IP has been important, like you already referred. The only point is how much you are aware of the nuances of it. Whether you talk about Chetan Bhagat or you talk about Shiv Kheda or you talk about any important celebrity, one thing that is common, they all are from different domains. Nothing is common in them. The only one thing is common is the IP, that they could use their intellectual property to be able to monetize it. Then there are a lot of professors who've been in news. They teach so well, but unfortunately, inadvertently, because of some researcher junior, they ended up in plagiarism, which was not even known. To what extent can I pick up someone's work? Do I need to paraphrase? How much percentage am I allowed under a fair use? So those are the nuances which are very important for each one of us as country citizens to understand. There are so many other examples where people opened up their YouTube, it became a super hit, and it had to be closed down because of again plagiarism and piracy issues. No one knew about it ever before they had entered into that issue. So this Olympiad gives you all of that value addition. Arnab, back to you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. There is another question in the chat box. Is this exam online or offline on specific center? Saisha, would you like to answer?
Yeah, I think ma'am just covered this already. Given the current situation, we don't want to take the risk of having an offline exam. So it will be online, and 60 minutes, 60 questions are the details of the exam. You can read more about that on our website.
Okay, so you very skillfully walked us through the registration process and the benefits of IPTSC. Could you suggest measure for students to crack the exam?
Arnav, I think I've covered this in the presentation. Nothing more than reading the course material we've given, because for the students who already have knowledge of IP, I'm sure that they're going to learn something more from the course material we've offered. And for students who are completely new to intellectual property, we're going to offer them a whole lot of new information that's put out there in simple terms. But beyond that, if you want to try, then sit with your friends, encourage them, try to, exchange some case study questions, try to gain newer information on IP in your study group, in your study circle, because that's what's primarily going to help kids crack the exam, in my opinion. And as I said before, the YouTube channel, our Instagram channel, they're all handles where you can learn so much more about intellectual property. So go look that up and find us there.
Can you
Actually,
explain
I have one more
about?
question for Sheetal, ma'am.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sayam.
Ma'am, normally the most of the companies which we want to work with are mostly based in international based companies. You talking about Uber, it's US based. You talk about Honda, they're Japanese based. You talk about Ford, it's US based. So we deal with their IP rights on basic international basis. So how this does this course also like enlighten us with those part of the knowledge? Course studying in India would not does not involve studying those things which which we want to get knowledge of, like I want to work with Google, be their lawyer, because we all know that it's one of the highest paying company, and for the lawyer they pay a lot because they want their things to be on the track. So how does we get the knowledge to work on that level?
See, like I said, and I'm reiterating, it's not a course, it's an
No,
Olympiad.
ma'am, I'm just
Okay.
asking you how we
Yeah,
can brush up our knowledge to
correct.
reach
So,
that level,
so
not
Sayam,
about this course but generally.
best is that you need to be seeing a lot of videos. You need to have a team of people who are like-minded, with whom you can share a lot of content, exchange a lot of content. You need to have group of people, because otherwise it becomes, IP is such a humongous field. All alone you cannot do all, right? You need group of people. Somebody who's expert in copyright can keep exchanging a lot of ideas and details of what's happening in the international jurisprudence on copyright, not only in India but otherwise also. You can pick up more on patent. Someone else can do it on trademark. That's how you collaborate. You combine your team and then you learn it. Case studies बहुत सारा है. I think YouTube channel of IPTSE also provides you a lot of webinars. You can attend those as well. Try to take more and more, certification courses. But more than that, experience is something which is most important. Do lots of internships, lots and lots of internship. अगर कॉलेज बोल रहा है कि नहीं अभी इंटर्नशिप का टाइम नहीं है, still you apply for internships and take out time of your after you are done with the classes. शाम को go and work with corporates, go and work with law firms. Real time experience will only help you rather than just reading it all.
That I agree, ma'am, but college and like we don't get much time because work of office is just work for till 8 and college is still 4, so yeah, we don't get much time. Yeah,
So that's how
tough
you
to
need to
manage
have
that,
a
but
competitive
we get
advantage.
to.
You can either
Yeah.
be in your comfort zone or you can be out of your comfort zone. अगर ऊपर सीढ़ी चढ़ना है, then you cannot. You have
मैम
to find
अटेंडेंस
out
वाला
time, right?
डीबार हो जाएंगे.
You have to find out time. In that case, I cannot help you. It's There
Yes,
are
ma'am,
so
I
many
know.
people working even in IPTSC Academy. We have witnessed who does their college, they do their work, they also train a lot of people. They've become now teachers. They are teaching now. So I think it's all in your hands.
Yes, ma'am.
वो सुना है ना, God help those who help themselves. यही तो मजा है, इतने चैलेंज में कुछ नया करना है.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what IP is teaching you. The way, the kind of questions that you are asking, it itself shows how much curiosity you have and how much potential you have.
Thank
So
you, ma'am.
keep it up.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I think there is one question, Saisha Arnav, in the chat uh, from, I just saw Mansi.
Yeah, ma'am, that one was answered about the offline online
Okay,
one. And you
right.
can take over now.
I
Aisha,
think
could you
you,
quickly
I
tell
think
us
you
some?
can, sorry, I think you can still tell them the different slots that you guys have come up with when they can sit for the exam. Was that done?
Yeah, as I said in the presentation, it's not just the dates you're choosing, you're also choosing the time slots you want. So as Sayam already said, you have so many classes and you are already, piled up with so much work. So you get the opportunity to choose the time slot as well. So whether you want to give the exam in the morning or the evening, according to that, according to your convenience, you can give both mock tests as well as the main exam. And even the webinars and events we have are at on weekends. So you don't have to worry about the fact that we're going to have we're going to take your classes this time. You are safe there, right, Arnav?
So could you quickly talk about the weekly interactions you just told us about? What
Oh,
all
I think
is
we're
done in
already
the
at
weekly
11. Okay,
interactions?
anyway, I'll just quickly go over it. The weekly interactions are just lots of IP experts, as Sheetal ma'am, coming in, talking about the different facets of IP for all of you, giving you, case studies that are more recent, information that are more new, their webinars on newer events, which will give you better insight of what is happening in the IP world, as well as already the prior art that already exists. So all of that combined together on different dimensions. So we've had an introduction to patent, an introduction to copyright, one for trademark, one for IPRs in general. These are events that have already taken place. Once you register for the exam, you will be able to access these ones as well and the future ones. So you can get a lot of knowledge, and it depends. For the basic pack, we have 3 to 4. For the premium pack, we have 6 to 7 interactions. So that's what we're having on weekends for all our IPTSE registrants.
Thank you
And
very much.
yeah.
Thank you very much, Saisha. So thank you, Saisha, Sheetal ma'am, Saurabh sir, for being so generous and providing us with such useful and concise answers. Now, as I think all the doubts have been cleared, and if you have any further doubts, you could write to us at inquiry@iptsc.com. You could also connect with Dr. Sania or Dr. Ahmed, who in turn would connect you with us. With this, we come to the end of today's podcast. I sincerely hope that you students have enjoyed this event and that GT Goenka University will have several registrants for the IPTSC exam. Before leaving, I once again thank Dr. Sania for her cooperation, Dr. Ahmed for his enlightening words, Mr. Saurabh Sachdeva, Dr. Sheetal Chopra for their constant guidance, and Saisha for being so diligent and obliging, and to all you students of GD Goenka for being such great sports and bearing with us. Thank you all. We hope to see you again soon.
Thanks
Thank you,
everyone.
Thank
everyone.
Thanks,
you.
Dr. Sanya.
Thank you, all of you.
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
everyone.
Dr.
Thank
Ahmed.
you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Dr.
Thank you,
Khan.
Saurabh
Thank you,
sir.
Dr. Tabrez. Thank you, Dr. Khan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Sania. Thank you so much.